Let's go.
G'day guys, we're going to ask Woodford episode. I got no idea what the fuck I was doing there. Episode 6. I'm sorry for last week. I had questions and we've actually stacked up the questions now. It's real funny. And I think I was talking to you about this, Alex, how many questions we've been getting since we haven't done it last week. So episode 6 now, guys. Really excited about your questions. I've got Alex on board like always. Alex, welcome.
Always
on board. So episode 6. Sorry we missed last week. We're back on board this week. Episode 6, ask away. Alex.
All right, we got Dane Wilson from Facebook. This is the one you wanted to get last week. I was just wondering if you could give me your opinion.
Wait, you're going to ask this one first?
You want me to ask it first?
Yeah, why not? Well, we're here. Why not ask it? Let's go.
Start it off.
So I'm
wondering if you could give me your opinion on CrossFit, pros and cons. I started a few months ago and I love it. A lot of people have said it's no good. Yeah. So I thought you'd be a good person to ask.
I don't know if he's loaded the gun here or I don't know what he's done. So CrossFit. So I want you guys to go back if you're really interested in this. If you really are interested and you actually give I was going to swear there, but not for mother. If you really care about really what I think on this matter, I want you guys to go right back and delve into the depths of despair of former Woodford podcasts. Now, Alex, if you maybe put a little video up here and one of my first podcasts that I did. First podcast I did, I'm pretty sure. First or second, I can't remember. You look at it, it's back long time ago. And I did a podcast. This is how everything kicked off for me off this podcast. And I talked about CrossFit. And that's kind of how I got my name from... Can you actually find it there? Can you actually see it?
I'll get it. I'll put it up on the video.
Put it on the thing. So, and maybe add a link to it as well if people want to watch it.
Right.
I was very young and youthful, and you can see business hasn't been very kind to me. And if you actually look at I haven't changed much in my face, but you can see that I am getting older now. So it's always good to watch those podcasts again. Now, you got to remember, I was very angry. If I look back now, that was like nearly four and a half years ago. And the reason why I did it was because I felt that at the stage 4 or 5 years ago, CrossFit was booming. Now you have to remember, this was before F45. This was before any performance that really came out. I told you this, you know. These days, everyone's got a performance gym. Everyone's got and I was talking to Jay about this yesterday, and everyone's got, which is great. I've got no issue with this, but and I want to inspire people, but every gym you out there, you know, you see an artificial turf, you see prowlers, you see function, which is great. And this was before all this. So back 4 or 5 years ago, I did a podcast on the pros and cons of CrossFit, and it kind of blew up because back then no one really in Australia was really criticising CrossFit. And what was happening was CrossFit was booming. If you don't know what CrossFit is, CrossFit's I couldn't even describe CrossFit. CrossFit's like multi-disciplines in Olympic lifting, powerlifting, gymnastics. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah,
high intensity focus, and they do a lot of WODs, workouts of the day, and it's pretty much just a whole heap of shit thrown together. And it metabolically challenges the athlete. So it's a strength sport. I want you to remember that. It's a strength sport before I go on anything else. It's a strength sport. And back at the stage, they've got communities in CrossFit, and it's like a real weird thing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, back then, I kind of felt like what was happening was these people were doing like a 2-day certification, and they were coming out and they were claiming they were physical prep coaches, they were rehab specialists, and I saw it on the regular, right? And here I am, an exercise science student with honours in neuro, and done all this, you know, I've done all this free work experience, I've worked with athletes, I've paid my fucking dues, and then you had, sorry, I won't look at...
How distracted he gets.
So back at that stage, what was happening was all these guys doing like 2-day certification. Now they do a certification, like a 2-day certification, and they go over everything in terms of CrossFit. So they do Olympic lifting, powerlifting, stuff like that. And they were coming out, and they were pretty much saying they were and I actually, and people don't believe me that people said that, but they were saying like they were the leaders in, we do athlete preparation, we do rehab, and I was just like, fuck these guys, man. Like, who, you know, all these exercise science students, bust their ass, come through, you know, pay their dues and actually work with athletes, not the strength variety, the non-strength sport variety. And I just came out and said how I felt, because if you're an athlete, right, if you're there's 2 types of athletes: strength sport athlete, which is Olympic lifting, CrossFit, powerlifting, you know, bodybuilding. That's I classify as a strength sport. Then you got non-strength sport athletes, which is the athletes I train. You have to have a clear understanding of which ones you want to train. And that's like football, cricket, soccer, rugby, field-based sport, court-based sport, stuff like that. And you have to realise training an athlete, a non-strength sport athlete with CrossFit, is not going to make them better at their sport. It's actually going to regress them, because you have to remember, lifting is the CrossFit athlete's sport. That's their sport. For the field-based sport athlete, that's not their sport. Their sport's kicking a football, kicking a soccer ball, shooting a basketball. So by you just literally doing WODs or just training like a CrossFit athlete and going to CrossFit, it's going to take the recovery time, it's going to take the time that you need training out from that, because the way they train, and I'm not saying the top level CrossFit competitors, because they're actually doing proper periodization in terms of proper phases of intensification, accumulation. Those guys do the proper stuff, but I'm talking about the ones where they first come in, they're doing WODs, let's snatch till failure, and that's not going to make them more powerful. That's just developing work capacity. And all I try to do is put a science-based spin on it, but also understand that to develop athletes, it takes more than just lifting heavy. And it kind of just did my head in. I came out, and then what ended up happening was I got a call from the project. I don't know if you can get this video, but I was on the project for about 3.5 seconds. They came, they called me up, hey, I heard you got these views on CrossFit, and this kicked me off even more. This made me went from that to that even higher. And then the project came, they filmed me, and they set me up, because I couldn't, everything I said on camera, they told me to say. And that, for everyone out there, that's television for you. And they got me to talk about rhabdomyolysis. I said about 2 minutes worth of content, and they cut 5 seconds. They had my name, and of course, who became the whipping boy of CrossFit? Me. I did. And I had all these people message me saying, what do you know, you're a dick. And this is before I was really big, what I did in terms of people who knew me. Not a lot of people knew me back then. I didn't have a whole big, I had a lot of athletes, but not big names. I hadn't really had the results behind me to back up what I could say. But I had balls to come out and say how I felt, and that's always, I've always been one of those guys. I live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're with me, if you're with me, I'm with you. If you're not, I don't give a fuck really. You're against me. So that's how I felt. It's like me v you guys. So. And I came out, and then what happened was all these people started commenting on my stuff. I was on for 3 seconds, and I had 10 people inbox me privately. I'm like, how the fuck did you get? I couldn't even. You saw my name for about 2 seconds, and it seemed to write my name. It was an interesting time. And then the thing about CrossFit and the communities, when you say something negative about them, they will come after you. That's one thing I respect about CrossFit. It's one in, all in. And they attacked me, and mate, this went on for at least this went on for at least a year and a half. I had still CrossFit people bag me out, and I personally, did I love it. Because you guys don't understand one thing. Facebook back then and back there is called something called free reach. And the more people you tag, the more people see my post, the more people know what I do. So I want to thank you guys. No, I've never said that to anyone, but if you're smart, you actually understand it, because you gave me the publicity that I wanted, and I needed back then to really develop the brand, because I stood for something, and I stood for sports science, and I stood for proper athlete development, and I stood for education, and I stood for becoming the best at what you do, and just not doing a 2-day course and expecting just to call yourself because you're riding a wave of fucking how many people know what you guys do. So, I'm proud of what I did, and I'm proud I stood up, because I was sick of it, and I was an exercise science student who was fucking hungry, and all these guys were coming in saying they did what I did, but they didn't. And I don't mind CrossFit. Now, if you look back then, I was a very angry kid, I reckon, at 25, 26, I was angry. I'm not as angry as I am now. I felt like I was angry because if you actually look at my videos, I do come across very angry back then. I'm more methodical, a little bit more methodical now, because I feel like that, because I truly love what I do. And that's the thing that people don't get about me, this persona, this person that I am. It's hard because I'm a really easy target for people, and all I want to do is help people, and I'm passionate. People get me a bit all wrong. The real Christian Woodford, only my friends really know, and these guys. But the amount of people who just constantly rag on me, and that's fine, I can cop it, but I really want to help the industry develop, and I've only done the only way I know how, because none of you guys would be watching this if I wasn't like this in terms of passion, said how I really felt. And this is how I am. I don't make any, what you see is what you get, and you ask Alex, you ask Brent, I'll ask you, like, I'm the same person I am here as the same person out there. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct.
I don't hide from who I am. This is who I am, and I can't help who I am, and I truly love what I've been able to achieve, but I want more change. And the only way we can make change all together is if we don't stick with the same status quo. You know, we rise up together, and we all do this together. I'm not saying CrossFit, at the end of the day, CrossFit is CrossFit. If you want to do CrossFit and, you know, exercise, do it, man. I'm not hating on that. You know, like, I think if you truly love CrossFit and you want to do CrossFit, I think CrossFit's great in terms of it's gotten people away from the traditional machine-based weights. It's compound multi-joint movements. It's free weights where you challenge the nervous system. I think it's great for that. So if you want to do WODs and you're happy doing it, hey, by all means, go do it. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the athlete, the field-based, court-based sport athlete, the non-string sport athlete. Then my views for that is I don't think it's the most effective way of training for the athlete. There's more to training an athlete than lifting heavy weights or doing Olympic lifting. Trust me, a shitload more. And I wouldn't go on to uni and done 4 years or worked with athletes the last 10 years or 7 years to know that. And that's all I'm saying. If you don't like that, you can shove that up your ass, because I really don't care. That's pretty much it, the question. But I wanted to end on this. Let me end on this. Sorry, I'll end up. This is a question. I just want to end on this. All I've ever wanted to do is make this industry better, and I can only make this industry better by asking questions, challenging ideas, but also all of us coming together and raising the standard all together. Because I can't do it by myself. I'm trying to create a profile that we as a community, in terms of sports science community in the private sector, we can all rise above it. And instead of like all this bullshit, altitude masks, power bands, all this bullshit, we know this crap doesn't work. We know what really works is hard, smart, scientific-based training. If we can all come together and raise the standard, we can. But that's what I think about CrossFit. Not too bad. If you want to do it, I don't care. But for the athlete, I think there's more effective ways. Does that answer the question, you reckon?
I think it's an all-encompassing kind of...
I started getting a bit emotional there, because I feel that people don't understand where I'm coming from a lot. Like, they think that like, I don't, like, half the time I think, like, I really fucking care about this industry. Like, I've been doing this. I started when I was 18, 19, and it's still, you know, I dreamt to become a leader in the industry. I visualize this every day, and I'm so passionate. I honestly believe if you truly want something, you can come get it. But I think I do get emotional at this because I truly love what I do, man. I truly love it, and I hope people understand that. I think a lot of my athletes talking about this yesterday, and they say it's people, because one of my boys was saying, fuck, a lot of guys, heaps of people know you, but a lot of people don't have something nice to say about you, which, you know me, nothing really affects me really. But the funny thing is, these people never met me, I've never met them, but they only go off what they see on camera, on what they see, which is fine, fair enough. But what a lot of people don't understand is where I'm coming from. No one sees my vision and the passion that I have for this career and making it better. And I've been one of the only people in the industry, and there's a few I can name on my hand, who really want to be passionate and develop the industry and create more jobs. And my end goal is to create more jobs. If I can go to 40, if I literally can go to when I'm 40, and I've exposed, I've transcended the industry. In terms of when I mean transcended the industry, not just people who fucking work in the industry understand it, but the mother down the street who's got a kid, or the footballer who's 22 who's strained their hamstring a few times and wants to go to see someone who's actually knows what they're doing. If I can transcend it and get into the general public's perception of applied sports science strength conditioning coach is, I'll quit this. I won't do it anymore. I don't think I'll do it anymore. I'll own this, but I can't see me doing, because I've hit all my goals. And like, what else is there to do? Like, I'll be so proud of what I've achieved, and we've all done this together, and we've created more awareness, more jobs. The biggest pushing for me at the moment is the kid in 10 years who's an exercise science grad who finishes, who can get a fucking job, who's passionate. That's my end goal. That's what I want to do. And if I can do that, and every day I wake up and I visualize that, and if I see that, that's what pushes me, because that's what I care about. And you can rag on me all you want, and you can make fucking videos, and you can give me shit about stuff, but fucking all I've ever wanted to do is fucking help this industry develop and create more jobs for passionate students, coaches. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Next question.
That was good.
Fuck. It took a lot out of me.
Okay, next one from Facebook.
Yeah.
Denim Rahi Cook. I have an industry question that you may use on AskWoodford. What are your thoughts on personal trainers paying rent to gyms in order to work out there and use their equipment? Do you think it is building or breaking the industry?
Oh, see, these are good questions, man. Man, this show's getting pretty good, man. I got about 10 questions I had in there. I didn't know which one to choose. How many are you going to do today? Because, man, after that one, I reckon we'll go. How many do you want to do?
We'll see.
Maybe we go 3, and then we come back 3 next week, because that's nearly broke me, that question. Rent. So this is for everyone out there. What gyms do, the big chain gyms, is they get you in as a trainer. How do I know this, by the way, is because I used to work for a big chain gym. I was very lucky where I worked for a small gym first. And then what happened, it got taken over by a big gym. And then what they try to do is get me to pay rent out. And the first thing I remember the guy said to me, and my old man, if you know anything about my old man, best person ever, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, the best, he's methodical with numbers. The best with numbers, he's an accountant, bookkeeper. He's brilliant at what he does. And without him, we wouldn't be here. So he, I remember when they tried to get me to pay rent, I think it was like, back then it was probably about 300, back where I was, 300. These days it can vary from wherever you are. If you're in the city, it's like $400.
A week?
Rent. Yeah, a week. So it goes from anywhere from 275. I know the lowest is like 250, 275, all the way up to $400, 425. A week. Now you got to think, let's say 425 and you're charging $100. That's like four and like a quarter sessions you have to do before you even make any money yourself. Still, still got to get
and not many people making 100 per session.
Nah, man, no fucking way. Not in this game because the industry is flooded, man. The industry is flooded. There's so many people who think they can do that because it's like a glamour career. No wonder the lifespan of a personal trainer is like 3 months. You can understand why it's 3 months is because it's so flooded with so many people think they can do it because they all think that, oh shit, this is sick because training, I can lift my, I can get paid to train other people and it's glamorous, but it's not glamorous because what screwed the industry as well, and I've been through this before, was The Biggest Loser, where people have seen the trainers on The Biggest Loser, they're like, I want to live that lifestyle. It's like any job, it's got its ups and downs, it's got its good and its bad points, but all these kids get in there thinking that I'm going to train athletes, I'm going to train this, man, number one, you ain't going to train athletes. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, doing exercise, Cert 3 and 4, it will take you years if you want to train athletes, years. And that's if you want to hang around long enough to stay there. But there's such an influx of these PTs coming through because these days it's slowed down because back when I went through, do you know what I paid for my Cert 3? Free. Do you know what I paid for my Cert 4? $200.
Really?
Yeah, because what they were doing, that government were handing it out for free pretty much if you had a healthcare card. Because back then, 10, 12 years ago, whenever I did it, it was pretty much free. These days, it costs a lot of money. And what happens is a lot of these kids, it's a flooded market. So to get a job, what they do is they go to these big chain gyms, and these big chain gyms suck the kids in, and they say, you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, it's like living the dream. It's like, fuck, this is great. I get paid to fucking train people, live the lifestyle. And they go to a big chain gym, I'm not going to name any of them, and there's a fitness manager, and the fitness manager said, we'll get you this many leads per week, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying all the time they lie, because there's some good fitness managers who have integrity who do get leads, but it's like any business. There's going to be ups and downs, right? A lot of these kids, they're being taught about basic business skills, about communication, about just generally how to sell yourself. They don't know how to do it. Well, other than let's do an Instagram photo with my butt out and a protein shake and hope to sell it and then hope people will come to you. Because in this industry, if you look good, that makes you a good coach. And that's the biggest issue about this industry is people go off looks, not off what's up here. And the most important thing, which I've been trying to change, is what's up here is the most important. Okay, yeah, you got to look the part somewhat. You got to train yourself. I train every day. No, all of us train every day. Most of us, anyway, who train here, but most of us train. You got to look the part. At the same time, the most important thing is what's up here. And for some reason, this industry, we're all backwards where we think it's not what you know, it's what you look like. And I hate that about this industry because fitness is more than what you look like. Fitness is a mind. Fitness is a mindset. Fitness is a state of... Oh, I've said that 3 times. Fitness is a state of mind. So what they do is they get you to come in, they'll get you to sign a contract. Now, just for everyone out there, the contract is not binding whatsoever. So you can walk out anytime. They won't tell you that, but it's not binding. I know that through my lawyer. Not binding, right? And they'll sign into an agreement, it's like $300. And that's why these days they've cut the year contract and now they've got 6 months contracts. Because what was happening is, these guys were just, mate, the turnover of personal trainers is massive. Massive, 3-month lifespan, it's fucked. And they go, they pay, it's $300 rent, and they build up to that rent. And by that stage, most of the trainers, they're burnt out because they realise they've got to bust their ass, they've got to work on it. It's like any other job. You got to fucking work hard. What the fuck do you think that's going to fucking happen for you? Most kids these days are so fucking lazy, they think that fucking money's just going to come. It's going to fall, oh, fuck, you've done your Cert 3 and 4, I want to train with this guy for $100 an hour. And that's what the gyms sell them. You can charge up to $150 an hour. You still have to have the consumer who wants to pay for it. If you're a nobody, no one gives a fuck about you. If you don't know how to train someone, no one's going to pay you $150. Do you know how long it took me to charge $100 an hour? 7.5 years of grinding, 7.5 years. So if you honestly believe you can make that, and there's some guys who are outliers who make that quicker. I understand that, but I didn't, and I paid my dues. And I'm proud of what I've done, and I was pop as shit. But I'm standing right here. It takes time to build up, but these kids think that you do this and you get paid straight away. But I think the gym model is a terrible model. So the question was about what I think about it. It's a terrible model. Actually, if I remember back when I was year 10, right, and did work experience, the gym instructor, I did work experience in year 10. I did work experience at a gym instructor, and my first cert 3 I did work experience, gym instructor. Gym instructor's gone now. The gym's killed the gym instructor. Do you know why? Because they have to pay them money. No point. Why would we pay money when we can get money from them? Makes sense, doesn't it? That's how the gyms look at it. But where I'm a real big believer in, I think they need to bring back the gym instructor, because here's my thought process on it. Yeah. If you're a young kid and you're learning the ropes right, and you're a gym instructor, you might get paid $20, 25, up to $30 an hour, depending on your qualifications, depending on your experience. But what I like about the gym instructor role is, one, you can learn the art and the applied aspect of programming and coaching without any pressure on you, correct? Because you have to worry about, shit, I've got to pay the rent this week. So I don't have to worry about gimmicky marketing. I don't have to worry about selling out. I can take my time, I can learn the ropes of programming, and I can make mistakes. The biggest issue right now is young kids, they're coming onto these big chain gyms and they're worried. And people ask me, well, why are these kids selling out? Why don't they understand the fundamentals? Why? You want to know why? It's because they're going to pay this prick of a gym $400 fucking rent. These don't even give a fuck about their members. They're going to pay $400 rent to some who doesn't give a flying fuck. Can you beat that word out, please? Beat that word out for mum. Can you do it? Beat that word out, please. Got to pay $400 because I can't say that in front of mum, because mum wants to know. $400 for someone who doesn't even care about them whatsoever, doesn't care about them, and the pressure's on them to sell. And they're going to look at all the other they're going to look at the other trainers and how they sell. And do you know how the rest of them sell? Through bullshit marketing and through how they look. And they're going to sell it, and they're going to train them like isolation, like a bodybuilder. They're going to train them, crappy, gimmicky training, and this kid's going to try and train it properly, and it's not going to sell. Can you understand the whole issue about it? It's a circle, isn't it? It's a vicious circle. Because the kid wants to do something properly, sees how to train someone right, controlled, progressive, don't rush things, basic, simplistic, yet every other trainer is going to train them like a retard and gimmicky, which is going to sell Bosu ball squats, Bosu ball rows, some gimmicky bullshit that we know doesn't work, we know, but the client doesn't know, and they're at a gym that everyone does it, and they're going to do something that's normal that we know's right, but they're not going to know right. So they're not going to be able to sell. So what do you think this trainer's going to fucking do to sell? It's going to do the bullshit shit that you don't want to do. Do you see the issue with it? So, shit, these two questions be good, man. I get real passionate. I just lose it. I don't know. That's the issue with it. What they need to do is bring back, you got to beep out that word. Please beep that word. Thank you. But that, sorry, mum. I just get on a roll and I can't stop. They're going to bring back the gym instructor, because it takes the pressure off these young coaches, trainers who want to learn. It gives a good service to the member. I think it's great. I wish they would bring it back. There's some gyms who still do it. It gives a real good service. No pressure on having to sell, and I think it's good. But I hate the gym model. Hopefully it change. I can't see it changing in the near future. And if I was a trainer, go to a small chain gym that doesn't charge a massive rent. Never ever go to a big chain gym. Never.
Let me keep it right there.
Done. That's it.
Let's keep it right there.
Why do you want to keep it right there?
We can keep going. You want to keep going?
I don't know, man. Those two questions have been real good questions.
We'll make the workshops.
Huh?
Yeah? Oh, yeah, workshops.
This is about 25 minutes right now.
Yeah, we'll cut this. I think that'll be it for this episode. But I really appreciate the two questions. I really wanted to go into more depth today.
Yeah.
I didn't want to rush over this. Two very good questions that if you can't see it, I'm very passionate about. Hopefully you guys, do you reckon those guys would have seen how passionate I was on those two?
No, that's real. That's the realest I've seen you in a while.
Yeah, I think that is the realest stuff. I feel like that really, those two questions, I really felt those two questions. I know it's real weird how, when you asked me those two questions, it really resonated with me, both of them. The first one because it really brought me back.
Yeah.
Like brought me back to when I first started my roots at Woodford. The second one was why I started Woodford. Kind of like those two questions are really good. Really brought it all together. So really appreciate the questions, guys. Man, we are flooded with Ask Woodford questions. Alex and I are really sorry that we can't answer them all, but we only got 25 to 30 minutes to answer these questions. But as my friend over there put it, Brent, tickets to workshops coming up. First workshop that I'm doing is in Cobram, Future Fitness. If you're a country athlete, parent, coach, Cobram Fitness. I think the date for Cobram, Alex, do you want to find it?
May 21st.
May 21st, Cobram Fitness, Cobram Future Fitness. Go to Future Fitness 24/7 for tickets. The second workshop is my big one with the great man who should be on the show soon, Shandor Earl in Sydney, May 28th, Sunday. Tickets are on sale now. Can we leave a link to it, please?
Yep.
And the third one, we haven't released tickets. Tasmania Action Centre. Action Fitness Centre. I want to thank Luke Jackson for letting me come up. Tasmania, we are coming for you. My media man behind us, Alex, will release tickets. He'll let you know. Alex, my man, 28th.
Sydney.
No, Tasmania. It's going to go Cobram, Sydney. So Sydney's 28th. And then Tasmania on June the 4th. Really excited to come to Tasmania and Sydney. I said after last year, I'm not going anywhere in Australia this year. And I've been sucked into two again. Because everyone's like, oh, will you do it again? I'm like, nah, not for another 2. I had enough after last year. So I'm not going to do it for 2 years. But I've been sucked in again. So this is it, guys, for this year. If you want to see me, if you're outside Australia, Tasmania and Sydney, this is it. I'm not doing it probably after this year. I won't do it 2019. I'll do it 2020. So this will be the last time for 2 years. So if you guys want to see me, come these workshops, because I think next year I will be lucky enough to do an international tour, and I've been offered. So hopefully it'll be exciting where I go. I'm not going to release it yet, but you guys will hear about it. All right, guys, that is episode 6 of Ask Woodford. That has been very draining. I want to thank my co-host, my producer, Alex Sandalis. I want to thank Brent O'Leary for creeping around in the background. And I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Ask Woodford. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you soon.